Huawei versus Google, the impact of the ban on innovation. Hello my dear friends, how are you? I hope you are well and in good health. Today I have a new and very important video with you, which is, I hope you like it, but before watching, subscribe to the channel, like, and share so that the video reaches many viewers. Thank you. Now let's watch the video. In the realm of global technology, few events have had as profound and far-reaching an effect as the US trade ban on Huawei. Announced in 2019, this ban cut off Huawei's access to US technology and most notably, Google Mobile Services, GMS, and critical chip-making tools. What began as a geopolitical move quickly evolved into a defining moment for the tech industry, forcing Huawei to pivot and reshaping the competitive landscape. But what has the true impact of the ban been on innovation? Has it stifled progress, fueled new developments, or perhaps both? In this article, we'll examine how the clash between Huawei and Google has influenced mobile technology, software ecosystems, AI development, and global consumer choice, all while looking at how both companies responded to the crisis. Background. Why the ban happened. In May 2019, the U.S. Department of Commerce placed Huawei on its entity list, citing national security concerns. This move barred U.S. companies including Google from doing business with Huawei without government approval. For Huawei, the biggest immediate blow was losing access to the Google Play Store, YouTube, Google Maps, and other essential services embedded in the Android ecosystem. This forced Huawei to rely on open-source Android and later to accelerate the development of its own operating system, Harmony OS. Google, on the other hand, lost access to one of the largest smartphone manufacturers outside of China, affecting its Android market share globally. Short-term impact, disruption and isolation. Initially, the ban caused major disruption to Huawei's international business. Overnight, it became much harder to sell phones in Western markets without Google apps and services. Popular devices like the Huawei P30 Pro, which had been praised for their cameras and build quality, became harder to recommend outside China. Huawei's smartphone market share plummeted globally from being the number 2 smartphone vendor worldwide in 2019 to exiting the top 5 by 2021. The company had to spin off its sub-brand Honor to keep it alive without restrictions. Meanwhile, Google also lost a crucial hardware partner, especially in emerging markets where Huawei's Android phones had been dominant. Innovation under pressure. Huawei's response. Rather than folding under pressure, Huawei turned the crisis into a catalyst for innovation. Denied access to the conventional tech stack, the company began building its own software and hardware ecosystems from the ground up. 1. Harmony OS, a new operating system. In response to the loss of Android support, Huawei fast-tracked the development of Harmony OS, a microkernel-based OS designed to run across smartphones, tablets, smart TVs, wearables, and IoT devices. Harmony OS now powers over 700 million devices in China as of 2025 and is seen as a serious alternative to Android, at least within Huawei's hardware ecosystem. It supports multi-device collaboration, super device pairing, and cross-screen functionality, pushing the boundaries of what a mobile OS can do. This would likely never have happened without the ban. Huawei might have remained reliant on Android indefinitely. Instead, it's now leading innovation in operating systems in China and parts of Asia. 2. App Gallery and Pedal ecosystem. Without Google Play, Huawei had to reinvent app discovery and service integration. Enter App Gallery, Huawei's alternative app store, and the Pedal suite add Pedal Maps, Pedal Search, Pedal Mail, and more. Huawei invested billions in enticing developers to publish on App Gallery and created workarounds through box and quick apps to simulate missing services. This accelerated the development of independent software ecosystems outside of US tech dominance, especially in China, Russia, and parts of the Middle East. 3. Hardware and chip design. One of the biggest blows from the ban was losing access to advanced chips from TSMC and Qualcomm. In response, Huawei began focusing on in-house chip design through its HiSilicon subsidiary. The result, Kirin 9000S, a domestically developed SoC, system on chip, made in collaboration with SMIC. Although it lags behind Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in raw performance, The very existence of Kirin chips made on Chinese soil represents a leap forward in tech independence, a feat driven by necessity and innovation born of constraint. The Google side, holding ground and redirecting focus while Huawei had to rebuild from scratch. Google also adapted to the changing reality. 1. Strengthening Android's global grip. With Huawei out of the Android race internationally, Google focused on strengthening its partnerships with other OEMs like Samsung, Xiaomi, Oppo, and OnePlus. Google ensured these companies receive timely Android updates and tighter integration with Google services. In effect, Google protected its dominance in the global smartphone OS market, even without Huawei. 2. Expanding Pixel hardware. Google also took the opportunity to expand its Pixel hardware line. Devices like the Pixel 6, 7, and Pixel Fold benefited from Google's vertical integration strategy, similar to Apple, including the development of custom Tensor chips. Had Huawei remained a global Android powerhouse, Google's hardware ambitions might have faced more competition. In a way, Huawei's decline gave Pixel phones more room to grow in the Western market. 3. Pushing AI and cloud services. Google doubled down on what it does best: AI, machine learning, and cloud computing. From Google Assistant to Bard and the integration of AI into Android 14 and beyond, Google continued innovating in ways that Huawei with limited access to US cloud infrastructure struggled to match. Long-term effects on global innovation. The Huawei-Google separation didn't just impact two companies, it set off ripple effects across the tech world, with implications for global supply chains, software development, and innovation strategies. 1. The rise of regional tech sovereignty. Huawei's pivot helped usher in a new era of tech nationalism. Countries like China, India, and Russia began investing heavily in homegrown alternatives to U.S.-based software, app stores, and hardware solutions. In some regions, Huawei became a symbol of resilience, inspiring other companies to reduce dependence on US software and services. 2. Innovation through competition. Without the ban, the mobile OS landscape might still be dominated by iOS and Android. Now, Harmony OS is a real third option, at least in Asia. This kind of competition encourages new design paradigms, like Huawei's Super Device feature and advanced multi-screen collaboration tools, which Apple and Google have since sought to emulate. 3. Fragmentation of the global tech ecosystem. On the flip side, the ban has also contributed to the fragmentation of the global tech ecosystem. Apps that work on Android and iOS don't always function on Harmony OS. Developers must now consider multiple code bases, regional compliance requirements, and alternative monetization strategies, especially in China. This increases development costs and slows global app rollout, potentially hurting innovation in the broader tech industry. Conclusion. A ban that sparked both constraint and creativity. The Huawei versus Google split due to the US ban is one of the most significant tech ruptures of the past decade. On one hand, it disrupted Huawei's global growth, stunted its short-term innovation, and forced it into regional confinement. On the other hand, it triggered a wave of technological self-reliance, pushing Huawei to develop its own operating systems, chips, and services. Google, for its part, preserved its Android dominance and used the opportunity to grow its hardware and AI services. Ultimately, the ban shows that innovation can flourish under constraint, but it also comes at the cost of ecosystem fragmentation and limited global interoperability. In the end, consumers gain new options but face a more complex and divided tech landscape. At the end of the video, I hope you liked it. Until we meet again in a new video.